How good are you at regulating your emotions? Do you struggle with anxiety? Do you struggle with depression? Do you overreact and react disproportionately to certain situations? Are you easily offended? Are you easily hurt? Are you easily angered? Do you struggle with conflict? All of these struggles fall under the category of poor emotional regulation. And trust me, I've struggled with all of the above. I still do, but practice makes better. And the more you practice, the easier life gets. It doesn't mean that obstacles are going to stop coming your way. That's life. The world isn't going to change just to suit your needs. And so, in order to live a fulfilling life, the best thing that we can do is work on ourselves. I used to suffer from debilitating anxiety. I used to be depressed most of the time. I used to be very conflict averse. Still am to a certain extent, but I'm working on it. Because these are all skills that you can work on, that you can get better at, affording you a much more serene approach to life. And so today I'm going to give you my top 3 tips to learning how to regulate your emotions better and becoming a more balanced and peaceful individual. My first tip is to practice mindfulness. So, whether that means walks in nature, meditation, yoga, anything that brings you back to the present moment is going to be helpful. Because if you're anxious, that usually means that you're living in the future in your mind. You're apprehending what may come. You're preparing for worst case scenarios. You're fearful of potential conflict. And if you're depressed, more than likely you're living in the melancholy or nostalgia of the past, or you're reliving past traumas. You're stuck in the past, and it paralyzes you in the present because your mind is stuck in your memories, whether good or bad. And so mindfulness is a beautiful practice that allows you to exist in the present moment. And the best way I know to get yourself back to the present moment is a very simple exercise. It's called the 5-4-3-2-1. So first what you're going to do is you're going to name 5 things that you see. Then you're going to name 4 things that you can hear. And take your time. You don't need to be quick. Number 3, you're going to name 3 things that you can feel with your skin. Number 2, you're going to name 2 things that you can either taste or smell. And number 1, name 1 thing that you know for sure. And that's just a simple exercise that brings you back to the present moment and gets your mind out of apprehending the future or wallowing in the past. And once you're present in this moment, in the now, anxiety dissipates, as does depression, and you become more able to manage the obstacles that come your way. Now, my second tip for learning how to regulate your emotions is through acts of self-care. And that can mean, making sure your bills are paid on time. That can mean learning to treat yourself with more kindness and compassion than you ordinarily would, because we've all got that critical voice in our heads that's extremely judgmental towards ourselves. And a lot of us are actually really mean to ourselves, and learning how to be kind to ourselves through learning how to show up for ourselves really helps. So pay your bills, take care of yourself, and do things that bring you joy and that activate your curiosity and bring you a feeling of gratitude. For me, living with joy, curiosity, and gratitude are the key elements to learning how to regulate your emotions. And my last tip, my third tip for learning how to regulate your emotions is to allow yourself to have fun and be creative, whether it's through drawing or sculpting or painting or even writing or singing, playing an instrument, because a lot of us tend to neglect our creative selves. Neglecting our creative selves immediately brings us into a misaligned state. And when you're misaligned, you're going to overreact, blame, judge, freeze, isolate. Whereas Practicing creative outlets is a gateway to honing your curiosity, which is a wonderful way to ground yourself in the present moment and bring about more serenity in your life. Because when you're calm, you're able to make better decisions for yourself. When you're agitated, it's like trying to see your reflection in the water when it's storming. You can't. You got to wait for the storm to pass. And when the water is still, that's when you can accurately see your reflection. But if you're always going through a storm of anxiety and depression and conflict and victimization, you're not giving yourself a fair shot at a good life. And that's especially important for those of us who do suffer from severe psychological disorders. I'm a prime example of this. There was a time where I blamed the world, and I blamed myself for a lot of things too. But I was very much stuck in a victim mentality. I was so hard on myself, and it kept me in survival mode for years. I didn't even know there was another way to exist. I had no hope that my life could be any different. And then I started to put in the work, and I learned how to treat myself better, which allowed me to treat others better in return too. Learning how to regulate your emotions is a skill that is within the reach of everyone willing to put in the work. So go give yourself a chance of living your best life. Might as well, because I've lived through the alternative. I've lived through hell. I can guarantee you that it's worth investing in your wellness. It makes a world of difference. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope you have the best day. Love to all.